In this session, we will write on cover input and output statements in Java, or also known as IO statements. There are two types of data in Java or in general in any programming language. One is static data, which is essentially fixed. Second is dynamic data, which keeps on changing. So as part of programmers' requirement, sometimes we need to handle dynamic data to perform some basic arithmetic operations or maybe logical operations. To perform these operations in Java, we have two types of statements available. Number one, input statements. Number two, output statements. Input statements, these are used to read dynamic data from the user. Buffer, reader, console, scanner class. We'll see what these are step by step. And we have output statements. There are three types of output statements in Java. Number one, System.out.print. Number two, System.out.println. Number three, System.out.printf. Let's begin with System.out.print. It is used to print in given objects content on console and control remains same line. Let's see some examples. Print Amy. Print Andy. Print Mike. I'll just add spaces after Amy and Annie so that you will understand why I added that. That is for better readability. Let's compile, execute. So the names will be printed in the same line. For that reason, I've added spaces. Let's say, for example, I need to print these names in a new line. I will just add new line character right after the first two names. Let's compile this. And execute. Program now prints each name in new line. This is about print, System.out.print. Let's move on to the next output statement, println. It is used to print given objects output content on the console, and the control will transfer to the next line automatically. Let's see an example, print ln. Let's print a print ln EBB print line CCC and try to compile. Execute. The output is printed in new line for the each entry. Let's look at printf, the third output statement. It is used to print the content in C language format. Let's take some examples. Let's say printf, and I have to print an integer. I'll use slash and %d and give the integer value. Then I have to print a floating point. It's slash and %f. Then say 45.678. Then slash and C to print a character, then slash and S to print string. Let's compile. I have not changed the println statement and all the sentences. Control S and compile it again. I need to compile it. It is giving previous one. Now execute it. That's how the printf statement gives the output. Let's see some more examples for printf. For example, I have character and character T, and if I use uppercase C, then it will be printed in uppercase. If I use uppercase character, if I use lowercase s, it will print lowercase mic, and if I use uppercase mic, then it will print in uppercase string format. And let's say if I have Boolean b lowercase and do true, and then use uppercase B, print the value, it will be printed in uppercase. Let's try to run this program. Compile, execute. Let's see one more example for integers. If I do lowercase %d prints an integer, if I do lowercase o and try to print, then it will print the octal. If I do lowercase x and print 10, it will print hexadecimal lowercase. If I print uppercase x, then it will print uppercase hexadecimal equivalent of ASCII. And let's try to run this program. Here's the output. Oh, let's see one last example for floating point number. Say, for example, I have n dot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I would repeat it like 5 more times. So when you print floating point number, it will print 6 digits after the decimal point. So here the 7th digit is 7 and it's more than 5, then this will be converted to 7, or it will be 7. And if you want to print one position after decimal point, then you will use 0.1. If you want 2, then you will use 0.2. If you want 3, you'll use 0.3. If you want 4, you will use 0.4. If you want 5, you use 0.5. For 0.6, it's default 0.6. You don't need to mention. Let's compile. Execute. So the first one is printing 6 digits, and then the second one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 5 one, if you see, the 6 is more than 5, so this is incremented by 1 and printed. Let's summarize the printf. Personality is an integer value and decimal. Then percentile O is integer value in octal. Then percentile X is an integer value in hexadecimal. Then percentile uppercase X is hexadecimal uppercase. Then we have percentile C to print error value. Then we have uppercase percentile C or percent C, the char value in uppercase. Then we have lowercase s to print string value, and uppercase S to print string value in uppercase. Then we have B boolean value, and we have uppercase B to print boolean value and uppercase. Stop here. And continue in the next.